and welcome to Basement Fodder, the only show who's recording its 100th episode tonight in the Basement of Doom. I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And joined by Button Hook, live in studio, the magnificent Dirk Manning.
I'm eating an ice cream cone and posting this on Facebook.
A pink strawberry flavor.
No, it's not strawberry.
It's not? What is it?
Peppermint.
Pink. All right.
It's
fair enough.
It's flavored by the souls of Twitter girls.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're
candy stripers.
Candy stripers. Well, last time I was here, you guys showed me the Hulk penis, so I figured this time I'll bring my pink ice cream.
There you go.
We're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
I'm actually, people can timestamp this then because I'm actually posting in the Friends and Fiends of Dirk Manning Facebook group right now as we're recording live.
So you know what's happening.
You know what's happening, yeah. When did I tell you guys I was coming in live to do the show?
Just a few hours ago.
He told me literally an hour ago. Like, I show up from school and he's like, "Oh, by the way."
Yeah, Dave didn't know until he came home at about 7:30 or so.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how long I could go before telling you because I kept like nursing it a little bit. Like, so this is the 100th episode, right? And for the record, I knew damn well it was the 100th episode.
Like, wait, what is it? 96, 97? Oh, it's the 100th?
It's 100, eh?
Okay.
Oh, you doing anything special for that?
Time is relative to the pucker factor. Like, the shorter time you give him, the more it will pucker. Like, that's why it's always fun.
Dave loves to make my butt pucker by frightening me and or butt hooking me.
Yep.
So, wait, did I? No, I don't want to know now.
It gave me just enough time to fumigate the fart smell out of the basement.
He's cracking diamonds. He's cracking diamonds with us.
I'm finishing my ice cream cone right now.
Just right now.
Delicious.
It's delicious.
It was actually half eaten in the picture already because I couldn't keep nursing it.
Like, shit.
Welcome back to the Basement of Doom. It's been almost a year, I think.
Oh my gosh, you're it. That was the anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at this one posting.
Or maybe, I don't know. Has it been more than a year? Because I'm trying to remember what
around
episode
a
was
year.
the one that you were on originally.
It's been about a year.
But it's been at least a year, yeah. For sure.
I'm glad to be back. And see, and like I'm embarrassed because like I was wandering around outside. I like ended up in like the basement of terror, in the basement of fear, in the basement of despair. And I'm like, no, I need to get to the basement of doom.
Well, at least you didn't end up in the basement of naked clowns.
Or the basement of bong smoke, the college kids across the way. Probably would have had you wanting more ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man.
You're knocking on our door like, hey, guys, any Pringles?
Crazy.
No, okay, good. Well, now the shenanigans are out of the way. Thank you for having me back, and congratulations on 100 episodes, guys.
Thank you.
I could scarcely believe it myself that we actually stayed.
I knew it would happen. I just didn't know
long.
if anybody would actually still be listening by the time we got to 100 episodes. Like,
we're growing strong, but in a weird way, in the podcasting way, like the student has surpassed the teacher because our new show that we launched a few months ago, now the Todd Files is actually outdoing us in numbers. Though to be fair, it's a guest show, and so every time I have somebody on, they bring their crowd of people, so you're going to get the bigger numbers there. But our numbers are better than they've ever been. And fantastic. And especially since I talk to a lot of other podcasters and I hear the numbers that they get from their shows, and we're pretty much at the top of the pack when it comes to that stuff, so it's good. It feels good.
I was actually thinking about bringing out my own show. I was going to do more like a once a month YouTube video of like me in a banana hammock and a mask doing yoga, like Basement of Doom yoga with
the
Dave.
downward dog with Dave.
Yeah. But instead of like normal names, I would probably just rename them with horror names of some kind and stuff.
It certainly would be horrific.
Yes, it would. But I'd still have to keep the Costanza. That's a classic. The Costanza has to stay. That one's for Sarah. She loves the Costanza.
I just ate.
Almost as much as Aaron loves the Costanza.
Speaking of horrifying things.
I use some of this Purell. Do you mind?
Sir.
You can't Purell the back of your mouth. You won't ever get that flavor out.
That peppermint is good, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of horrifying things, I was horrified when you originally told me the news that you were going to be doing the new mystery book completely online because of I'm an old codger and I like paper comics, but
right.
I have since, because of Bob Sally and Salvagers, kind of turned the corner on that because I couldn't get physical copies and I got really, really into Salvagers. I don't know if you've got a chance.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I had Bob on the Todd Files, and Bob is fucking awesome.
Bob's great, man.
And the book is fantastic. And I got a chance to read through everything that's up to date on the Mr. Reed, the first issue, online. And I actually just finished reading the bonus book from the Kickstarter.
From Volume 2?
From Volume 2, and the bonus story in the back of the hardcover, which I absolutely loved.
Thank you. It's funny with the pro stories. I've been telling people, because Nightmare World, sorry. That's late. Well, I did this in Nightmare World as well.
Yeah.
To a more abbreviated fashion, but I tell everybody, I'm like, make sure you read the prose stories at the back of Tales of Mystery Volume 1. Make sure you read the prose stories at the back of Tales of Mystery Volume 2. And they both have that Brad Thompson character who is, someone bought Brad Thompson from the Outhousers, bought the chance to be a character. Well, he bought a chance to name the story. He goes, "Can I be a character?" And he pitched in a little more to be a character. I'm like, all right, man, I'll be a character with that name and look, kind of base it roughly on
vaguely.
Not enough that he can sue me when terrible things happen. But
hey, man.
Yeah, hey, I know I paid for this. No, Brad's an old friend, so it's real cool to do. But then you mentioned Tales of Mystery Volume 3, which we're running exclusively as an online comic between now and the end of March. Then in April we'll do the Kickstarter for the hardcover and trade paperback. And issue,
I will be getting it.
Issue 1, issue 1, features Brad Thompson's debut in the actual comic. And I have people like, "Oh, this new character is really interesting." Like, he's not new. You guys are outing yourselves. You didn't read the prose story. He's in Volume 1. We find out he's Rhee's informant in Volume 1. The prose story in Volume 2, I mean, as much as I love the comic miniseries, I was really tickled. The Raspberry Beret, the prose story at the back of Volume 2, which Brad also bought the Kickstarter right to name that.
Yes.
I'm like, Raspberry Beret? I'm like, you're an a-hole, man.
Are you really making me do this?
You son of a bitch.
Right. I'm like something cool. And he's like, well, and he wanted, because he named the first one as well. The first, in Volume 1, he bought the pledge level to name the prose story in the back, which was AM radio. I'm like, AM radio? Like, God, the hell am I going to, who would listen? But then I'm like, well, I'm old. I listen to talk radio, which is AM radio. Mm-hmm. And that kind of started to spin the idea of the story I wanted to do. And then when he bought it in Volume 2 and Raspberry Beret, and I'm like, you son of a bitch, man.
You're going to make me work for it.
It was between Raspberry Beret and another title, but I'm not going to say it because he might end up, knowing him, he's pretty probably like, I picture him like somewhere in the room, like rubbing, like just stacking pennies, like Scrooge McDuck, just waiting. The moment I launch the Volume 3 Kickstarter, he's gonna buy it, and he might use this other.
Within like a day, he's like, "It's mine, Manning, it's mine."
He told me the other one he almost did, and it's like, oh, you bastard.
Yeah, that's the one he's saving for the next one. Like,
yeah, but Raspberry, but then in Volume 2. The prose story, the text story, I originally wanted to keep it like 2 or 3 pages, and it ended up being like 10 pages or so. And because the story just clicked, and I read it, and I'm pretty fierce when it comes to my own editing. I really hack at it. And I sent it off to Leah Letterman, my editor, and I'm like, Leah, I need your honest opinion. How can I cut this down? I got to cut this story down. It's too long. It's like 10 pages. People don't want to read that much, book in a comic. In a graphic novel, and I sent it to her, and she goes, and she read it, and she gets back to me. She goes, "You want my honest answer?" I go, well, "Yeah." She goes, "You can't." I'm like, "Oh, well,
I agree.
There it is." But I'm really happy with Raspberry Beret, and I feel like I'm just beating my head against. I'm like telling people, you got to read that because Raspberry Beret is directly tied to Carmageddon, and it answers the question no one thought to ask in the whole miniseries.
Yeah,
there's a sleight of hand I pulled in the main story that's answered in Carmageddon. About I guess about one of the characters. I don't really want to give more away than that, but
no, it's absolutely a fantastic read. It actually was making me think like, why isn't there a book, just a straight book, no graphic novels, no comics, just write a book about these characters?
I mean, but that's a good thing though. Like sometimes you got to make the reader go a little bit more than just the pictures. You're like, you really want the story? Like, do you really want it? Sometimes you have to really let your imagination play.
Right.
You know, don't be handheld through it.
And put in the effort, you know. And I think of Watchmen. The first time I read Watchmen, I'd get to the back of every issue, because I read the issues, you know, back in the day, and I'm like, oh, what's all this prose stuff in the back? Put it down, and then I read the comic Watchmen, and it blew my mind, changed my life. Well, then the second time I went back, I decided to read the prose backup features at the end of every issue, and I'm like, holy God, man.
There's so much more.
This adds so much more to it and what's going on and all this stuff. And so I know I've been there, you know, but thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy about Raspberry.
Well, I think the thing is, like, there as heavy like a fan base as there is for the character, anything that adds more to the mythos is a positive.
The world, all of it needs to.
Yeah, and you can flesh it out in a different way in the prose stories. You know, with Volume 1, when we did AM Radio, the prose story. In prose, you know, the literature, just, you know, a couple of spot illustrations, but it's words. I can actually write with just words too. But I mean, why do that if I can do comics, right? Yeah. But that would have been a pretty boring comic. You know, it's like Mr. Rhee and Brad Thompson, like, sitting in a car talking.
Yeah.
And it would have been kind of weak, which somewhere in the world set the mooses screaming, "You did the whole first issue of Volume 2 in a car, Dirk, you jerk!" You know?
But like, that's a little different, guys. It's a little different.
Right. But in then the prose story for Volume 2 in Carmageddon, it's primarily Brad and someone else sitting in a cafe, more or less, or you know. Which, again, I say that, and then of course the first issue of Volume 3 is Brad and Mr. Rhee, the whole issue sitting in a cafe. But it works as a comic there. But with these, it just wouldn't.
Yeah.
There's a lot more internal stuff going on, and Brad's such a fun character. I'm glad I got to bring him to light now in Volume 3, which is running online. I guess I can tell people, you know, I gave you access to the whole first issue.
Yes. Ha ha ha.
Happy 100.
All of you.
Now somebody else is cackling.
Right. Well, I'm trying so hard to bite my tongue because people have been reading it and very receptive to it.
Nobody's getting any spoilers for me, so.
I know, but I think we can safely say the issue turns on this issue is 24 pages. Issue 1 and issue 5 are each 24 pages, so they're a little longer. But man, it turns on a dime at the end, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, oh, I thought it was this, and it's this other thing. And we'll have to talk off the air. I want to get your thoughts.
I feel like after this episode comes out tonight that I'm going to have Michelle and JR and several other people messaging me.
Crystal, you tell me what it is right now. Tell me. Come on.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay, I'm going to... Oh, my internet cut out. Sorry,
yeah. Well, and it's only a week away. You know, I mean, we're on page, 15 or 16 right now. Yeah. So about another week. But it's... Yeah, it's... This was meant to be a good jumping on point, but also to really flesh out that dynamic between Mr. Rhee and Brad Thompson. Brad's going to be a major part of this miniseries, as well as Charity, actually. We're really going to get to finally learn a lot more about Charity and the Promise Group in Volume 3.
Yeah, I'm very anxious to hear more about the Promise Group.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
It's, God, it's so hard to talk about because it's going to be fun. Because we got this issue by Mariana and Alessandro. Issue 2, because Volume 3 is 5 issues, 5 standalone stories, 5 different artists. But they all weave into one story. Yeah. So, like, Issue 2 is actually the Carmageddon team. Seth and Anthony are back for Issue 2.
Oh.
That one's going to focus a lot more on, people have seen the cover at this point, but on Brad Thompson and on Thelma Lushkin and Doomashine Enterprises. Thelma Lushkin, yeah. You're welcome, Lana. You're welcome for that look. We're going to focus a lot on that in Issue 2. Issue 3 is Austin McKinley, who did some Nightmare World stuff, with Anthony coloring him, which is fantastic. Austin actually colored the first half of Volume 1 and really gave the book its monochrome noir look. That issue, we're going to learn a lot about the Promise Group and Charity. And I'm torn if Brad or this new character in Issue 3, I don't know if I've ever said his name publicly. His name's Gannon. I don't know if Brad or Gannon is my new favorite character I'm introducing. Charity's really cool. We don't know much about Charity. We saw her in Volume 1, but Charity's really cool. Rhee's cool. But I feel they're established. But between Brad and Gannon, it's like I don't know who I like more. But we're really going to start to see the cast flesh out of this book a lot more. Issue 4 is going to be specifically Len O'Grady, who did some Nightmare World stuff. He did The Same Deep Water as You, and he did For Those About to Rock, We Salute You for Nightmare World. Yeah, he's doing that story. He's doing issue 4, which is going to be primarily just about the Promise Group, and that issue has has super strong ties to Nightmare World. So, I mean, really, we're going to finally show the connection between these two series.
Start to weave them in.
I mean, big time. You know, I mean, you got Thelma Lushkin and you got other stuff creeping back and forth. But I mean, we're just gonna drive a stake through it. And then issue 5 is Howie Knoll. I'm not gonna say anything about issue 5.
Yeah, that's all you need to know. That's what we get.
Let me think. Well,
hey, I've had the honor of being drawn by Howie Knoll, and that's the greatest.
Yeah, Howie's great. That's the issue that the two big power backers. What can I say? I'll just say issue 5 is about the final frontier.
So Wales. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Star Trek reference. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Clint Thiel of the Geek Dig podcast will be laughing somewhere right now.
Just say somewhere. Every ninth listener's like, I got that one.
Who's the most human?
I got it. That was great. So I'm excited. Then that'll take us to the end of March. April we launch Kickstarter for Volume 3, and then we go from there. I'm actively talking with Seth the Moose right now about Volume 4 as well. So we're kind of pre-gaming on that a little bit. But there's going to be a book between Rhee 3 and Rhee 4 that everyone's been waiting for forever, but I can't publicly announce it before it's time. Because that would be a nightmare to do that. And I don't want to wreck anybody's world. So...
I mean, the sheer volume of questions is going to be insane.
But
we're gonna get something.
Let's just say, well, because the Rhee 3 Kickstarter will be in April, and then it'll wrap up in end of April, beginning of May, June, July, August. Hopefully, there's not a delay in the hardcovers again, which there shouldn't be this go round. We'll have those books out, and that'll put us in the fall, August, September. Your books get delivered, and then we'll just in time for a brand new Kickstarter in October.
Speaking of Kickstarter, slightly, I'm writing the segue, but did you catch that our good mutual friend Jared Blanton's Kickstarter is burning up the airwaves?
I saw that, man.
60% in less than one day.
Yeah, JR's got, and I saw you got the prints up here from JR?
Yes, Jared was nice enough to hook me up with a lot of prints.
JR launched his, Dan Doherty launched the Touching Evil
Kickstarter. Which is a great book, too.
Yeah, I'm actually a stretch goal on that one. If he gets to 13,000... I will write a comic story that he will illustrate for Touching Evil.
Ah, that's awesome.
And Touching Evil, for people who don't know Touching Evil, man, it's great. It's like Breaking Bad in the Twilight Zone.
Yes, it's a very cool comic. I got to read a few issues.
Yeah, it's about a woman that if she touches someone and they're evil, they'll die.
Oh. Interesting.
And I need to stay away from her.
I mean, Sparta boot kicking people. I think that are dickbags into her.
And there's obviously that power fulfillment fantasy, but really, how do you interact with people? Is your husband? Is your wife? Is your kid? Are they good?
Yeah.
Are they evil?
Oh, it's suck around Christmas. Is your kid on the naughty list?
Yeah.
You know what Dave would do? He would go around touching every screaming baby in a Chinese restaurant that we have to deal with every weekend.
Right. Well, see, the baby's probably
there's certain babies.
But then you would die if you touched yourself at that point.
I'm going to die 2 nights afterwards after I got that power.
2 nights? Like a machine or something? You'd be 35 seconds, man.
Nah.
like
45.
Like Seinfeld episode, I'm out!
I'm just wondering how many...
That last 15, I just really like to draw it out.
I'm just wondering how many Macy's day-sized parade of women that come down those basement stairs, how many of them would walk back out of the other side?
Most of them.
No, but
kudos to JR too, man. I gotta get on that. Yeah, I'm super excited.
I'll be seeing him this weekend in Taylortown.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
I want to do Taylortown, and I'm like, I told the guy, I'm like, I'm pretty much going to be off the road and stuff. Well, plus I'm going to be doing a signing up there at the Bacon Memorial Library, and it's actually the Bacon Library. Like, yeah,
it's the library.
But I'm doing a library signing and a presentation that day.
Yeah,
and then I'm doing the following Thanksgiving weekend. I'm doing Black Friday at Coy's Comics up in Saginaw, Michigan.
Yeah.
Rupp's Comics on Small Business Saturday. And then I'm off the road till February.
Woo!
Yeah, December and January, just working on a bunch of new writing projects.
I was going to say, do you know what to do with yourself? Or just like,
writing
in a car going
right, I should be driving somewhere.
Who are these people in my house? Oh, they're my family.
You go to drive to the grocery store, and next thing you know, you end up in Michigan. Ma'am, do you have VIP backstage passes for this? This is your house.
Yeah.
This is the bathroom. Yeah. What are you doing behind the table? It's the kitchen table. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm working on basically a lot of writing in December and January. Then February I'll be back on the road, and I don't know if I'll be back in Michigan again till February or March. I'm doing Wizard World Cleveland in February. But we'll see. That's later. Let me just get through these next 2 weeks.
I have to say the most exciting thing when I cracked open my Kickstarter rewards package, other than the T-shirt, which is fantastic, was this mini comic.
Yeah,
it's full size. It's full size, but it's shorter than a regular comic.
Two stories.
And very enjoyable. I enjoyed the story about the fireman story. Was probably my favorite of the two.
Thank you. Yeah, Josh Ross did that.
That really spoke to me.
We rejigged that one a little bit. We actually originally released that story online on the anniversary of 9/11. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of more of a 9/11 story originally, which dated it a little bit, but the story was good. And I guess I can talk about the story because if you didn't back the Kickstarter, you're not going to get it.
Yes.
For a long time, if ever. But it's we did. It's one of the Kickstarter bonuses because, God forbid, I actually make money. What we did was the more stretch goals we kept getting, just the more cool stuff. So we ended up getting 2 stories. We got Why Mystery Long in the Tooth, or Why Mystery Hates Vampires, which is about...
That would make me chuckle.
Yeah. I think they're both 5-page stories. That was a 5-pager. And then No One Left, which was originally our 9/11 story, and that one's Long in the Tooth was by Matt Merhoff, who drew Mercy Sparks.
Yes, I love Mercy Sparks.
Yeah, and then No One Left was by Josh Ross, who did Volume 1, and I actually kind of went rounds with my editor on that story because the original version had some dialogue in it. Mr. Rhee asks, basically what it's about is Mr. Rhee goes to a site where after the Armageddon has happened, he sees a fireman there. And basically you find out the fireman's just in the wreckage, just like hanging out. And you learn really quickly that the fireman's a ghost. And Mr. Rhee talks to this fireman's ghost about how the ghost is trying to... And basically the ghost is trying to help other ghosts that are still trapped from the wreckage and kind of still stuck there in that place.
Yeah.
And the original story, can I look at this? My hands aren't...
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to make sure, because
it's a very poignant story to me. It's done so well in such a short... because it's only a 5-page story.
Yeah.
But it speaks so well in that amount. And it's not even dialogue heavy. It's just the imagery speaks for itself. Yeah, and I know his Rhee is my favorite. Josh's Rhee is my favorite.
Yeah, well, he's the OG of Rhee. Yes. But this scene right here, which for those of you that are listening to this on the podcast, it's right here. This original scene when Rhee's getting out of the car, when he says that don't make it right, and the fireman says no, it doesn't. The original version of the story, Rhee says, maybe like in the extra someday, I'll run the original version. He says, what's your name? And the fireman says, does it matter? And then Rhee says, no, it don't. No, I guess it doesn't. Or no, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't. He drives away. And Leah Letterman, who's wonderful, a great editor, And we had all these conversations about whether or not that was a slap in the face to the firemen and the people for 9/11, because, you know, and I took a very nihilistic approach to it, and I'm like, he's dead. He doesn't care. What does his name matter? He doesn't, you know, he just wants to be there and helping the ghosts of the other people that are still traumatized by this and stuck there. And we went around, and it was one of the times we ever had an argument. It was a good argument. It was a healthy argument.
Well, not only that, but it's everyone. I mean, like, it's almost representative of every fireman.
Soldier.
Right.
It's the unknown soldier, yeah.
Right, you know. I mean, how many of us could name 5 people that died in 9/11?
Yeah.
You know, one person. You know, give me one name. So it was pretty nihilistic. You know, it was pretty pessimistic. But we and done obviously nothing to disrespect it. Well, what we did then for the bonus comic is we changed it to be more about it was wreckage from the Cthulhu attack in the city, and but yeah, thank you. I was really happy with it.
I have to mention the absolutely beautiful cover.
Yeah.
Of this, who's the artist on the cover?
Mariana Escada did that. She's the one that's illustrating the first issue, volume 3. That's her.
I want like a giant poster of this for the wall.
Yeah.
As if there would be fucking room for another poster.
We'll take down a poster. Sorry, Cap, or
I'll take down my Benjamin Sisko poster.
Holding the line at 299. Really?
I put that there as a joke, because it's kind of a fuck you to TC.
Yeah, because it's still
lying to me.
$2.99 my ass.
Yeah, but yeah,
$4.99 for some of them.
Yeah, Mariana, she illustrated volume 3, and she painted and she asked, she goes, "Can I draw Mr. E like with a big demon?" And I'm like, yeah. And that's the thing, like, people that work on Rhee fall in love with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very cool character, and like Josh Ross, Austin McKinley, Seth. I mean, Seth just does him right. Mariana. We talked about that at length, and she was like, "I just love drawing this character. I'd love to draw this guy forever." I'm like, "Oh God!"
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, she would keep it. I know she'd keep it. I'm like, "Okay, well, Seth's already doing volume 4, but volume 5, you know." So, yeah, but yeah, she painted it. It looks like a magic card.
It does.
It's beautiful.
It's one of those, like, less is more. I think it's like why those characters.
It is. It just, when I opened it, I was just kind of taken aback by it almost, because it doesn't look like a comic book cover. It looks like an oil painting in a gallery or something almost to me.
Maybe to celebrate, I'll have to get you the high res of that. You can just
here's the movie poster right here.
Yeah,
Mr. Rhee movie poster right there.
And I love it because the cover. We'll have to take a picture of it later to post with this or something.
Yes.
The people that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It tells the story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
There's Rhee and this big ass fire demon, like the monster from Final Fantasy VII, whatever his name was.
Ifrit.
Thank you. I should have known that. And it's like, yeah, go.
As I have a blank look on my face. Yeah. I hate anime.
You're doing that.
It was a video game.
If it's Japanese made, he just is like, nah.
I'm good.
All right, that's fine.
As much as we love to talk comics, we couldn't have you down here unless we talk about wrestling a little bit, because Dave and I have actually shifted a lot of focus. Like, I'm surprised with the amount of wrestling we've talked on the show these days. We have started doing a kind of once a month pay-per-view, review thing with the current pay-per-views, and it's the plan down the road at some point to do a wrestling-related side show.
That's because there's a lot of stuff going on, whether it be good or bad, or them trying, succeeding and failing. It's like it needs to be talked about.
Well, can we talk about the best freaking thing in this tournament so far?
Yeah, go.
Floor is yours, sir.
Cesaro's last match, man, against he who shall not be named. Against Roman Reigns. That Cesaro match on Raw.
I was like, every fucking Cesaro match is my favorite fucking match for the show.
Yeah, it's like, what Cesaro match is your favorite? The last one?
Yeah, Dave and I are sitting there every Monday night with our Cesaro section signs
in the living room.
And then at the end of it, usually when they screw him over and stuff like that, I'm belligerent and irate. Like, are you kidding me? Kevin Owens, are you kidding me?
When that match is over, Dave holds up his fuck Kevin Owens sign.
Because he hates
I love Kevin Owens.
Okay.
I love NXT Kevin Owens.
I've been waiting for this.
I'll respect him for what he did in NXT. I don't like him in the main card stuff.
He's the same guy.
He's not.
He's fatter, he's slower, and he's sloppier. His belly is ponderous. I'm telling you, it's ponderous.
Okay, the weight is not even an issue.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. But to me, it's the sloppiness. That's what annoys me and stuff, is like the lack of showmanship to sell it. Like,
his selling is slightly lacking, I will say.
I mean,
see, I guess I've looked at it, like, I think they've limited his moveset more.
That too.
They've taken away most of the stuff that I liked about him,
yeah. And it's hard, too, because it's like, man, when you put him in a match with Cesaro could sell anything. So it's like, when he sells one of his, like, basic crap moves that they make him do, and then he can't sell one of Cesaro's basic moves back, it's like, come on. Like...
See, I like Owen. Like I said, I think the thing with Owens is they've definitely limited his moveset a little bit more.
Yes.
But those Cena matches when he first came out of the box...
I feel like after that feud ended, and it didn't end logically, with him beating John Cena for good, I think I felt like it took some piss out of him as a person, and I think it seems like he gives slightly less of a fuck these days because of it. I don't know if that's the case, because I don't know the guy, but... he seems like he just isn't as fiery as he was during that.
Like, he's a little like, I kind of got bent over and taken dry. Like, it was one of those things, like, I thought you guys were taking me somewhere, and then you were like, hey, and then kind of...
I mean, it's Chuck. He's been on for a long time. He is carrying one of the straps right now.
Yeah.
He's fairly... I mean, he loses his matches, but he wins matches. So, it's tough. But, I mean, it always comes down to the armchair booking, and it's like, when will Triple H just take over?
Yeah.
When will Cesaro actually get to fucking win matches?
Right. I mean, that cartwheel on the top rope, I have never, ever seen that, ever.
Watching him as Claudio Castagnoli in the ROH days, he's just consistently one of the most talented wrestlers I've ever seen.
Oh, and he's strong as an ox.
Yeah, speed, agility, strength.
And when he does those running uppercuts, like you feel it. And the European uppercut is one of the toughest moves to sell.
Yes.
It is so tough to sell. Like William Regal used to do it. All these guys would do it.
And he does it with like flourish. Like he just puts it over the top.
Cesaro's really stepped up his showmanship too.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's part of it. And I don't know if they're giving out those Cesaro signs beforehand or people actually bring them or what the Cesaro section. I don't know. I don't care. But I want to see this slow build for Cesaro. And even if you're not going to even if after Mania he becomes one of the big guys. But the thing that's going to suck is Cesaro's going to get this big push and he's immediately going to get, once he gets to that apex, I know what's going to happen. They're going to put him in a feud with Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
I know it.
Well, that's if Tyson can come back.
What's that?
It's if Tyson can come back. Yeah.
But
he's going to be out there with his kitty shirt on.
But Cesaro is just... I mean, to put on a match of that caliber with Roman Reigns even, where I was actually like invested... it's like the joke, Howie Knowles sent me a thing on email. There was a picture of the tournament, and every name was Reigns. And I'm like, oh... God, it hurts.
Okay, my biggest question about these tournament brackets is... what the hell was Primetime Player doing in there? Okay, when you're making a tournament for your world championship, at least make it look like these guys all have a chance.
Who'd you put in? I mean, there's something to be said for a wild card pick.
Fuck me. Call Jericho for one night and stick him in there to job to somebody, for Christ's sake. I mean, he's obviously willing to come in and job and then disappear again.
Well, he does house shows mainly now.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's so unbelievable when you put a guy like him in there.
But he's a wild card but they've been actually selling that pretty well with the Lucha Kalisto.
With Kalisto, that shocked me kind of too.
I'm like, oh god.
But that little guy can work though.
He can go.
Neville,
when
guys like that.
Neville, I love Neville.
Yeah,
I do. That guy has so much talent.
Neville, all those guys.
I've rarely seen a guy his size be as built as he is. Like he's built like a brick shithouse and can move like crazy.
He's super jack. Well, and short guys can jack up a lot faster like that.
Yeah.
But he's just built like an inverted pyramid, man.
Yeah. And the height that he can get and the mobility, it's like for that size and the fact that it's like he hasn't hurt himself going that strong as long as he has.
Well, back in the day when he wrestled as Pac, and stuff like that, people are like, I remember first hearing about Pac and I'm like, holy God, what is this guy doing? But you got this batch of guys bubbling up right now. If Owens can really bring his A game again, and Neville and Cesaro and Joe and Ambrose and
Make Sheamus cut those things off his face.
Why does Sheamus have dookie braids in his beard? I can't take it anymore.
Sheamus is just getting uglier and uglier just to make himself more despicable.
Is he one of the most joke Money in the Bank winners? Like, I mean, I know it doesn't mean anything anymore, but it used to. And having him have it...
He's going to be champion.
Yeah, but what does it mean? What does Sheamus as champion mean in 2015, 2016? Nothing.
I don't get what they were... The only thing I could think of is if they were doing a long game for a Sheamus-Lesnar match.
God, I don't even know if I would care about that.
No, I mean, just to see Lesnar kill him.
To see Lesnar beat the living holy hell out of him, yeah, but to see how well that pale skin bruises, I suppose.
Well, see, that thing... if you have a big man fetish... You know, a bodybuilder fetish.
Like Vince McMahon.
I'm not naming any names, but, you know, Vince. But then Sheamus versus Lesnar on paper is amazing. Because you got two big guys that Sheamus can go. I mean,
it's not like he can't work.
He can't work.
He's just irrelevant.
But he is. He's completely. He is irrelevant. He's an irrelevant. He's an irrelevant character. He's not a good face.
No.
He's not a good heel.
Oh, no.
He's just...
I'd rather see, like, Swagger against freaking Lesnar.
No.
Size-wise. If you're talking big guys.
Plus, like, two guys that are real champion amateurs against each other. It'd be like watching Angle.
I'll tell you, a year ago, what I said was moving into Actually, no, it was a little over a year ago. It was for last WrestleMania. I was talking to Josh Williamson, who does Nail Biter and stuff like that. He's a wrestling guy. We were talking at a show. And that was my cheap name drop of the day. But hi, Josh. But so you can tag him for the 5 seconds I mentioned him.
There you go.
And he hasn't called me out on this. He probably forgot. But I said that Mania was going to be Lesnar versus Cesaro.
Oh, that would have been something.
And we could still get to that point. But they'd have to act fast.
Yeah.
But you do something where, you know, Reigns wins the belt, Sheamus cashes in on Reigns, Lesnar goes over Sheamus, and then Cesaro wins the Rumble.
Yeah.
That is not going to happen.
No.
But here's my official WrestleMania pick at this is where I'm stuck right now. I think we're going to have Reigns win the tournament, clearly.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's Reigns versus Ambrose or what, I don't know, and get that thing, get a little feud going there, maybe, I don't know.
I think they're long past due on a turn in that story.
It's just who they're going to have turn. That's the...
Well, especially because it's tough now because with Rollins out.
Yeah, it kind of throws them off the original
thing.
thing.
You could have done a nice triple threat match or something.
Yeah.
But here's where you're going to be at now. You got, I think Reigns is going to win the tournament. Sheamus immediately cashes in. Reigns chases Sheamus until the Rumble. Then at the Rumble, Reigns will get the belt back from Sheamus.
Man, I tell you, I could not.
And, hold on. So, you got Reigns wins the belt from Sheamus. Finally, yay. He chased Sheamus, chased the Ghost, and got him. Then you have the Rumble match. Who wins the Rumble? Brock Lesnar!
I mean, he could decimate that entire lineup.
He could.
That's the problem, too.
Send him in at number one. Fuck it.
Right. Well, yeah. Think of the old Stone Cold gag.
Yeah.
Remember when he was throwing people out, just waiting in the ring for guys to come in and throw them right back out?
It's more believable.
There's
Brock.
nobody physically who could stop Brock Lesnar from hucking him out of a ring.
No.
There's, very few.
No, you'd have to put 15 guys on him and pray.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Then you have the reverse Mania. Now you have Reigns as champion going up against Lesnar as a challenger.
I'd love to see that, but I'm going to tell you, I could not rent a fuck about Sheamus versus Reigns. I mean, I couldn't lease a fuck, rent a fuck, buy a fuck.
But the thing is,
Barrett's going to be an issue in it, too, because they've got that whole weird, European connection type thing going on with, Rusev, Barrett, and Sheamus. They're always putting them together, so he might play into it somehow, which then means they'll bring Ambrose into it. Well, it'll deteriorate into something shitty, possibly.
Well, I mean, you could have a stable even put Cesaro with them.
I'm so pissed off at the bungling of Rusev. I don't even want to.
Well, he suffered the curse of John Cena.
Yeah.
Same with the Bray Wyatt. Took forever to crawl out from that hole.
Yeah.
It took Barrett never really got out of it. Ziggler, in my opinion, never got out of it.
You mentioned Wyatt. Do you think that this Undertaker thing will mean anything for him?
For Wyatt?
Yeah. Do you think he gets anything out of this? Because I have to believe they're going to put Undertaker and Kane over them at Survivor Series.
The only question is Kane going to go out of the match? Will Kane get pinned at some point? And will it be Undertaker against
Braun Strowman?
Against three of them or all four of them?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, this is like, yeah, they're the Brothers of Destruction, but they're like the haggard-ass Brothers of Destruction, and you're talking like four of the very, like,
brothers.
Yeah. I mean, and you're talking four very, at their prime or close to it, guys that can move.
Except for Braun Strowman.
Strowman, but he's just a walking, he's just
a tank, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need technique.
I just need to be here so they all hit you from there.
When you're that strong, you need nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy...
Well, they have that history of putting the Undertaker against these big immobile guys that do nothing.
Right. Nathan Jones, anybody? Nathan Jones?
Yeah. The Lactator. The Colossus of Bogoro.
Yeah, exactly.
So say it too. It's
it's interesting. The question is going to be, when's Taker's last match going to be? Will it be at this 25th anniversary Survivor Series? And is this how he goes out? And do him and Kane just go out together?
Because they're building it up like it. Yeah.
I would be fine with it because they're both, Kane especially, if the last 2 years have proved nothing, Kane is finished as far as an in-ring talent. I mean, being a authority figure, right. I'm fine with that because he can talk. He has stature.
Kane is so underrated.
I liked it.
I was the biggest Kane fan on earth. 2001 in that era,
right,
I love Kane. And the Kane, not the classic monster Kane, but the Kane babyface Kane. Kane right before the mask came off.
Kane. Like I said, I actually read an article on it. I posted it on Facebook a while back. How Kane is possibly one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Kane is like a guy like William Regal. What has he not done?
Yep, it's true.
He's been funny. He's been scary. I think with the one exception of that time Edge got hurt, he's never really hurt anybody. He moves like a lightweight, for being a big 40-plus-year-old 7-foot guy.
That off the top rope down. Yeah, and I mean, he crouches. He comes full down.
Yeah,
and he works light, too. He obviously works light.
He puts guys over. When Vince wanted everybody on steroids, he did steroids. The Monster Kane of whatever it was, 2008 or whatever.
Yeah, God.
When he was just.
You thought the suit was gonna rip. It was just he had to have the one sleeve so he could breathe.
Right, he was just inflated.
What is the thing we've been talking about with Kane the last few months since he started putting the mask back in?
Oh God, this
ridiculous wig that does not function properly at all.
The level of prop work that these people do, and then they give him that. It's fine until he does the first drop and hair whip, and then it's shit.
It's like I know Donald Trump doesn't wear a toupee, but it's got like a toupee.
We were saying, I actually think it would be cool. It would be something genuinely different and cool to see Kane not have long hair.
Just let him have the mask and not have the long hair.
And have the short hair.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, it's the mask.
Jason Voorhees thing going on.
Yeah. It's like, it's the mask. It's not the wig, too.
Right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I'm curious about this Bray Wyatt thing, which I think in the age of so much internet and kayfabe and everything else, that's the best you can hope for. Are Undertaker and Kane going to win? Almost inevitably. Is it a guarantee?
No.
But, man, I wouldn't bet against it.
No.
But how's it going to go down?
Yeah. Because, man, they're pumping this thing, like, this is the anniversary. This is the thing. And it's like
25 freaking years, man.
Yeah.
I remember when Kane the Undertaker started.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kane the Undertaker.
Yep.
That's how they first built
Introduced by Brother Love.
Yeah. I always got to leave that part out.
I'm gonna call the ultimate Vince Russo swerve of all time. Kane turns on the Undertaker, leaves the match, and joins the New Day and becomes a unicorn.
You had me for a minute.
And then you went New Day.
You had me for a minute. The Kane swerve wouldn't be bad.
The New Day is my favorite thing on TV right now. I don't care. Actually, Biggie Langston dancing is my favorite thing on TV.
He loves the gyration for some reason. And creepy bug eyes.
I was so offended by the New Day.
It's very
initially.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, it's like if you're gonna do this, just make him the Nation of Domination. Let's make him strong. 2.0. And like the church choir. And, oh my God. But they have taken it and they have owned it.
Yes.
To such a Teflon.
Yes.
untouchable degree. Every time you think you can't love hating them anymore, they do something even.
They bring out Xavier Woods.
And they bring out that unicorn T-shirt.
Unicorn T-shirt.
Just like
#booty.
I'm waiting. I want a shirt that just says #booty.
#booty.
That shirt will sell. Vince, if you're out there, listen, man.
#booty.
A #booty shirt would sell 1 billion. Can you imagine how many people would buy that shirt?
Oh, God,
how many smarks would buy that shirt?
Just
#booty. That's it. Yeah, everything else on it. Put the little WWE logo on the back. Or just put the new deal. Whatever. #booty.
Since I know you're short on time, I have to mention this since it's very much in the news. The Ronda Rousey match. Did you get to see it?
I did watch it. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it.
Yeah.
What did you think?
There's no shame in being outclassed.
No, absolutely not.
Rousey's an awesome fighter.
Mm-hmm.
She clearly is not an untouchable fighter.
No.
Rousey just was completely taken out of her element. Utterly, completely, totally taken out of her element. And I've sparred in martial arts tournaments and stuff like that. So, I know what this is like.
Yeah.
And one of the things that so many people that have never done this, I think, overlook or don't, maybe, I don't want to say don't understand. I can't say people understand it, but people maybe don't know because they haven't done it, is control the ring. And control the ring and spacing.
Yeah, spatial awareness.
Inches will kill you.
Yes.
Inches will kill you. And Ronda could not get in place. What shocked me is Ronda couldn't take her down when she locked her up.
No.
That was where that was her chance. That was the thing.
Yeah, you had a couple chances to take her down, and the old Double H there, man.
She stood up and she tried to strike against a boxer.
Well, people made this mistake with Dan Henderson before.
Yes.
It's like they're like, oh, he's just a boxer, and it's like, okay, but you got to understand. Like,
you don't block shots. Like, I watched Ronda. She blocked no shots to the face.
She just kept coming.
Took shot after shot to the face.
Ronda has...
Giggity.
Ronda...
Basement fodder.
Ronda is tough, man.
Yes.
But you see that shot when she literally ate that just, man. Ate it.
Yeah.
And someone that can throw a straight left, and Holmes came out, and even at the weigh-in, she was just tight as
ripped to shreds. Oh wow,
man! And she was like, wow. But the question, and again, I don't know. Is Ronda spending too much time in Hollywood? Has she been coasting a little bit? I can't say. I don't know. I know I see her a lot of, and here's the thing too. Here's the other thing. You make hay while the sun is shining.
Yep.
Okay. Ronda can't fight forever. No one can fight forever. George St. Pierre can't fight forever. John Bones Jones can't fight forever. None of these guys. Randy Couture clearly could not fight forever. He got Brock Lesnar. So, with Ronda being as hot as she was, quite frankly, I get dancing with a girl you brought to the dance and honoring what got you there. But if she could make $10 million in 6 months or a year, and she's very gracious with her time. She does interviews left and right. She does appearances. She maintains a very accessible presence for a star of her caliber. Did that take away from her gym time? Probably on some it had to.
It had to.
It had to. And in the meantime, you got someone hungry that just wants to fuck you up.
I also think, too, there's a lot of problem with, like, her corner. Why would you let her... Like, I understand fighters are prideful, and that's understand. I've seen a lot of people that, like, are decent strikers want to go toe-to-toe with the better strikers.
Sure.
And it's that's cool.
And you get murdered every time. That's the problem.
Don't play to their strengths. She is a judo phenomenon, and it was like, I don't understand why her corner wasn't like, you need to play your strengths.
Yeah. That match was over at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
That's why. That match was over.
But I've heard, like, since then, there's a lot of stuff going on in her camp about, like, the dude that's been running it, he's an Armenian fellow, and apparently he has a very, like... This is how I do my thing, and he has a game plan, and he just constantly plays that game plan.
Well,
and it's like sometimes you have to change.
The game plan has worked, but that fight was over after that first round. There was almost no recovering. You don't want to shake up Ronda. You got to hope Ronda can just get in there and grab her.
Yeah.
She couldn't.
Because you can't dirty box with a boxer. You will lose.
Not with one of her caliber either.
Holmes threw, man, was just the game.
And she ran into the cage. When you saw Ronda lost control and went after
that wild ass shot that she tried.
Fell to her knee.
Yeah.
I thought, God.
You saw that she got in the mind.
You see Holmes just as little like, here it comes, man.
Well, not only is Holmes a boxer, but an accomplished champion boxer.
Kickbox, I mean, those kicks,
insanely talented, ripped to shreds, bigger than you, more muscular,
And the thing is, kick, it's like we was talking about, in training, kick, legs are longer than arms.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Ronda couldn't get any space, and Holmes, it was. I'm not going to insult Ronda Rousey and say it was a rookie mistake, but when Ronda kept running into and then just running into punches.
Yes. Yeah.
And what that is maybe not quite novice, but novice to intermediate sparring.
Yeah.
If you and I were sparring and things like that, if I can put you in the space I want you, and if every time you come into me, just tap you, just dot you.
That's the beauty of the jab. It's just
with the jabs, with kicks, with anything. And if I can just always keep you out of my circle, and then you keep trying to come into me, and I can just pick you like those straight lefts all day, pop, pop, pop.
You get frustrated.
Yeah, and then eventually lands that head kick that just
that
kick in the head demolished.
God.
Well, too, it's like if you've done any kind of ring, cage, any of that type of stuff. Besides, like wrestling open mat is one thing because you got the little circle, but if you've done anything. People will tell you those ropes, that cage, that's unnerving to be that close to it. As trained as you are,
you become a caged animal.
Yeah, you get close to it, and you don't like that.
No,
and you make mistakes.
When you got this person in front of you that wants to hurt you, and ring control is one of the ways they give you points, they score you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
she owned it.
And I mean, Holmes's game plan was executed to perfection.
Yeah.
I mean, perfection. Like I said. My biggest takeaway was that Rousey could not bring her down.
No.
Twice. She had her arms on her and couldn't bring her down. And I'll be honest, even at the weigh-in, I thought, I mean, I'm not, who am I to criticize this top caliber athlete, but Ronda looked doughy, man. She has looked a little soft, and she has looked like she wasn't there.
Where she was at that weigh-in, and then, you look at, the swimsuit issue, pictures. She was tight there. Stuff was, very,
but there's also Photoshop.
Yeah. But it's you've looked at pictures, from that point back, she was a little bit tighter.
She looked a little soft.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I was sitting in here eating an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also not being paid $1 million to go punch people in the face.
Sadly.
I mean, I feel any great champ, to make them a great champ, they have to lose, and I want to see where she comes back.
It's the test of the true champion.
Is she going to come back and try and do the same thing again, or is she going to wise up and come back with a smarter game plan?
See, the other thing, Dana White, man, people are talking about wrestling being scripted. Dana White just sits here and just plays everybody.
Oh God, yeah.
And stuff. He knew this is a no-lose situation. Either Rousey rips through someone else and everyone's happy, or Holmes demolishes Rousey.
Yeah.
And
the world loses its mind.
And either way, it's $1 million proposition.
Yeah.
But if Rousey can come back for 200, for UFC 200, and have the rematch at 200, that's your fairy tale story. But right now, it just came out today. Rousey's got to have a mandatory 6 months out.
Yeah. She said she's taking time.
Too much damage.
She has to now.
Yeah, it's medical.
The doctor, unless they get her cleared on the MRI or whatever it was.
But I know she's doing the film too,
and she's doing a film. But again, make hay while the sun is shining, man.
Oh yeah.
She was I
don't know if this is the one that I would say though.
Yeah, but she's a beautiful person.
Yes.
She's a good person.
Yeah.
And if you can make money without getting punched in the face all the time, it's just like The Rock, man. Just make your millions.
And that's the other thing. She always does have that outlet too. Because she did the thing with The Rock at WrestleMania and stuff. That is always something.
Vince is salivating at the thought of her giving up fighting.
He could always at least do one match with her.
You do the Brock Lesnar route, man. Can you imagine her jumping over to WWE?
And crushing every woman in her path.
Just ripping through
especially, everybody. I hate to say it, especially with what their women's division looks like. I mean,
it shows flashes of brilliance, but it's not everybody can be Charlotte,
it's not even that.
Sasha Banks.
They won't let go of these stables. They were cool when they started. They ran their course. Now let it go and let them all actually wrestle each other. It needs to stop being these 3-on-3, 2 with a handicap and stuff. It's like,
and we're just moving toward at this point, which sadly it's year-long booking, and like Dusty Rhodes, you say, booking ain't easy, kid. Booking ain't easy, So,
it's like planning college football games. It's 5 years in advance. You're planning the long game,
right? And you got to do this stuff, and you got to have these, these slumps. Sadly, because if you have someone to wrestle someone different every week, you're gonna run out real fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
But man, Sasha Banks, beast mode.
The boss.
The boss. Yeah, I hated her when she started, but man, she's just a monster.
She makes you hate her pretty well, but man, she can
go.
She's talented. Paige is very talented. She's very talented. Becky Lynch is very talented. Charlotte is extremely talented. Charlotte can't talk.
I just wish she had her.
Wish she had her father's charisma.
Oh, that
none of the Flairs. None of the Flairs can talk except for Rick.
That. And
she got David's charisma.
That closing segment on Raw was just a bit.
That was distasteful. It was distasteful. It was just to bring up Reed is just wrong.
It was just bad. It wasn't good television. It wasn't good anything. I don't know if they just told them to just go after each other, and I don't know. Yeah. But Paige can go, So we'll see. Overall, the future is promising, but I want the present to be a little more promising. But I'll tell you what, the WWE pay-per-views have been solid.
Yes, they have.
They have been really solid, and it's almost like...
There's surprisingly been matches where it's like on card, I can't want to give a fuck, but then when the match happens...
Reigns versus Wyatt.
Awesome. Oh my, I love that match.
Yeah. On paper, that's like the most garbage match ever.
I don't care what anybody says, that was the match of the show.
Yes.
They fucking killed each other.
Yes. Well, here's the other thing that needs to happen. Come back to Wyatt. I know we kind of got away from Survivor Series. What's going to happen? I have to roll out of here in a minute.
Yes, I know.
At some point soon, you need to put the Wyatts over and just give them all the gold.
Yes.
You have to.
Make them dominant.
They're a dominating force.
Have to.
If they want to make another Undertaker, which is bullshit anyway, but if that's what they want, fine.
Or even another Mankind. Another anything,
Bray Wyatt has everything. He's a guy of his size who can move. Yeah. He can talk.
He owns the crowd.
He has presence. He has ring psychology. He's got everything.
Everything.
Fucking just put him over. Yeah, don't do this even Steven bullshit jack-off booking that they love to do. No, just fucking put him over.
They like to get people right to the edge and pull them back.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker. Perfect example.
It's hand job booking, and I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. But the thing is, that's the one thing that keeps making me wonder about Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. Because if you're gonna start putting the Wyatts over, what better time than to go over the Undertaker on the 25th anniversary? Because Undertaker doesn't give a shit.
No, he don't care.
And that's the thing. It's like, could this possibly be that's it? That's what happens.
Right. You give Undertaker the rubber match to send him out or whatever, but just to do it. But I love a 4-man stable because it's like the old Evolution game.
Yes.
You got the heavyweight champion, you got the tag teams, then you got the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Strowman on Intercontinental. You put the Luke Harper and Rowan on
two amazingly talented guys. Oh my god.
Rowan, I don't care for, but
Luke Harper is
amazing.
Rowan, for a guy his size, can really fucking
physically
work,
he's good, but it's like he's
no charisma.
He doesn't have.
Green. I think he's a green wrestler. But then you watch like those matches with the Usos, for example.
Yes. Oh god.
Oh Jesus. Let him go forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let him go forever. But I'm curious. I don't know what they're gonna do. But it's got to happen soon. You can't keep jobbing out the Wyatts forever and expect people to care.
Yeah, because when it gets handed down to them, it's not going to mean anything. The people are going to look at him like.
Brass tacks, John Cena is over 40, and shit needs to start happening. Orton's getting up there too. All their guys are getting there, and they need to make their stars.
Is kind of the hard part about it was like that's what they were doing. They were building it with Rollins and stuff, and then.
Rollins will be out less than a year.
Yeah. But I think it was a stupid house match thing that probably shouldn't have necessarily happened.
It's not ballet, man. Things happen,
And it is.
I went years ago when I was, I don't remember if I had my black belt yet, or I think I was getting ready to test for my black belt. And, I ripped up my knee getting out of my car.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens.
I did like
100 kicks on one leg, and then I put that leg down to get out of the car, and I was getting up on, picture getting out of the car, and turn, and my leg was just dead, and my foot stayed planted, but my whole body and my leg turned.
I was training in Olympic Taekwondo, and I also did fire dancing, and 2 days before practice, I was performing, did a move wrong, landed, 3 loud pops, tore my ACL, tore my MCL, and my medial meniscus.
And medial meniscus, yes. That's the
Seth
Rollins injury.
They showed me the picture of my ACL. It looked like Arby's shredded beef. They said it shredded off. It was so loud, drunk rednecks heard it over Leonard Skinner. That's how loud the popping noises were.
I know. And
my coach was heartbroken because, it was just like...
Gross. There it is. Good night.
Well, on that disgusting note, I know that you're short on time, so we'll wrap...
But point being, things happen. But Seth will be back, though. But you gotta draw new stars.
We'll wrap your section of the show. Dave and I will be back with a little bit more. We've got some other current event stuff to talk about. But I want to say a huge thank you to being on the show. Not only being on the show, but coming out to be on the show. And that's
man. With the button hook. The 100 episode button hook.
I actually thought about calling you on Skype from outside.
That would have been perfect. Skype it through the doorway down to the basement.
I thought, by the way, I just couldn't remember I couldn't remember where the basement of Doom was. I'm like, God, and plus, maybe you guys podcasting in your underwear or something. And
always.
But I'm glad I could. I'm glad I could be here to
podcasting my PJs.
Happy 100.
I know I speak for Dave when I say that the show we probably would have never had some of the success that we've had without your support. I can point to so many people that we've talked to and reviewed things for and everything that only because of you.
No. So, you guys are doing the work, man. I'm happy to.
We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys.
But you're holding the door open. That's the thing.
I point to the door. I tell you, I don't hold the door.
You kind of forcibly go to the door. Go to the door. Go to the door. I say go talk to the door.
It's like Vince McMahon's brass ring, right? There it is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's like anything. It's like the Tales Mystery Volume 2 Kickstarter. It's like, I'll end it with a mildly cheap plug, but it ties into what we were just talking about. Tales Mystery Volume 3 is online for free. Mm-hmm. Every weekday we'll bring up a new page. One of the reasons we're doing this is the first 2 Kickstarters for the first 2 Tales Mystery collections. We raised almost $40,000 on the first 2 Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Now, I am not sitting here right now talking to you with $40,000.
No.
That covered printing of books. Printing a run of graphic novels is really expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did not make $40,000. I did not make anywhere close to that. But the thing is, we did raise a lot of money, and people have been very supportive.
Yes.
So you pay it forward. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, here. Now rather than wait 3 or 4 months to do this one here, we're just going to do it all online for free.
Yeah.
You can check it out for free. Here you go. Jumping on point for new readers, everything else. But it's the same thing with this, man. If I'm in a position where, people are trying to call me an elder statesman of the indie scene or the creator-owned scene, and all these things.
The Godfathers.
Right. And I'm like, what the hell? But then I'm like, well, I guess I've been doing this for 13 years.
It is apropos because I feel like you kind of made us part of the indie comic family. I mean, everywhere we go, we're treated like family. We're, everybody's like, come behind the table and sit down and let's talk.
Yeah,
and
that's the community.
That's the community, and it is one of the most amazing things.
It is. But you just got to pay it forward like that. Mm-hmm. And, even the Friends of Dirk Manning group, I would say I didn't start that group. That was Michelle and Crystal and kind of doing it as a rib on me, but the community that's grown out of that, and now you go up to Michigan and you get to see JR and then you got, Steph and Michelle, and, Michelle's doing her, Michelle obviously had some pretty major stuff going on, but I mean, the stuff that Michelle does, you got Crystal at the Outhouse, you got Steph at Masterplot, then you got the creators, you got Dan Doherty, and you got JR, and you got me, you got all these people that, we can all help each other out, and that's what creates synergy, man. That's cool, but you always got to pay that stuff.
And one day, Dave and I will be on that list too.
Yeah, well, even right now, I was just talking to Victor before I came here.
My good friend Victor Dandridge.
Yeah. My arch nemesis.
My very first guest on the Todd Files, which he was gracious enough to record twice because the damn thing fucked up the first time.
That's
he told me about that. He just had this look of horror on his face, and I was just like, "Oh,
I've done that." One of the best podcasts I ever did was actually a wrestling podcast. We talked 3 hours. I didn't record. And it was amazing. I mean, it was one of the best conversations.
But to Victor's credit, he didn't give a shit. He came back and did a better show the second time.
Well, that's Victor, right? Yeah, exactly.
Even better.
We just went and hooked up because he's got a lot of stuff going on. But no, you pay that stuff forward. So, I mean, I appreciate it, and I'm glad to help, but it's truly, 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 more than anything, to be in a position, one, where people, read my stuff, like my stuff, support my stuff is great. But the other thing that is equally awesome, that if I can connect you guys, or if I can connect other people, and just create that synergy and help people.
We're all just helping each other
out. Elevate, synergy. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's an honor. So thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to take a pause for the cause so we can say our goodbyes, and we'll be back with some Charlie Sheen news.
Happy 100!
Woo! And we're back from the pause for the cause, and I can tell you, people out there, you wish that the podcast would have been the conversation that we had afterwards, because Dirk is a fun man to talk to.
Oh yeah, you guys would have fucking just know that you should be salivating at the conversation that we just had that you don't get to listen to at all.
I'm gonna blow a little smoke up his ass. I tell you, I really appreciate him coming out for that. It meant a lot to us, for him to do that. He was the first guest we ever had.
Yep.
And although technically, I'll still say it, we recorded Casey's show first.
Yep.
But he was the first aired. And that was over a year ago. I was trying to think. I was thinking a year, but it was actually, I think, almost 2, because it was right at the beginning of the show, and we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary. So I think it was very early in our shows.
Yeah.
Because it was Free Comic Book Day 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So Free Comic Book Day 2 years ago, because last year we did the live, the last time we did the live thing. And But yeah, had a lot of fun and enjoyed it immensely, as usual. But there's been a huge amount of news, not comic related or anything like that, in the news this week. Of course, there's all the stuff about terrorism and this and that and the other. And I didn't want to talk about that. I'm just going to mention that it exists. But
it happens. Be good people.
Stop being assholes to each other.
Write a letter to your governor. Tell him to quit being a dickbag.
Dave and I don't talk politics, on the show, but I want to talk about Charlie Sheen. Oh, God. I made Dave choke on his water.
Too much blood on the tiger.
I want to talk about Charlie Sheen. Now, Dave knows this. I'm a big Charlie Sheen fan. Always have been. I love him as an actor.
Too.
Love him as an actor. He was that Robert Downey Jr. style crazy guy in the 80s and 90s and stuff. And
Carlos Estevez.
Yes. Then of course the flip out happened a few years ago.
Yeah.
And the tiger blood and the winning and the wizardry and all that crap. I'm a warlock or whatever.
Yeah.
That shit happened. And then this week, he was on the Today Show interviewing with Matt Lauer, and he made it known that he's HIV positive. And a lot of the reason, according to what he was saying, that he made it known is because people from his personal life have been extorting him for millions of dollars to keep it a secret. And I'm just completely fucking disgusted by that. People that you think are your friends, that you think you can trust.
Part about it that's really unnerving is it's people went into his house.
They took pictures of his medication in his medicine cabinet and extorted money out of him for not selling it to the Inquirer. Now, what kind of piece of fucking human filth does things like that?
Yeah, you willingly let them in your house, and then that's what they're like, hey, this is how I'm going to.
No matter what you may think of him, this is a man who has 5 kids and a granddaughter. And, has a father and a brother and, several brothers.
Yeah.
This is a human being. And, the diagnosis of the HIV positive came at the time when the meltdown happened. And the meltdown likely happened because he turned to drugs as a way of solace, and as a former drug user, from the time before. And I can't say that if I was basically handed a death sentence, I don't know if I would react any better than that.
Yeah.
Especially with the resources and the money that he has. I mean, it's kind of the trap of fame when it comes to that shit. You were a party boy before, and then when you find out you basically get handed a death sentence, you're probably going to go party some more. Yeah. Because what the fuck else can you do but cry,
It's true. Not everybody can be Magic Johnson, damn it.
Yeah, not everybody can live magically like Magic Johnson for the only man to ever live with AIDS for 30 years. No, it hasn't been that long, but still, good lord. Magic Johnson, my God. I think
he got it in the 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know when he got it, but he came out in the very early 90s with it. Yeah.
Late 80s, early 90s?
So it's been at least over 20 years.
25.
I've seen him on TV recently. He looks pretty damn healthy for a guy who's had, HIV for that long. But be that as it may, I offer my, support to Charlie Sheen. I've always been a fan of him. I will continue to be a fan of his. I will continue to be a supporter. I think it's, unfortunate that he had to come out of it this way, and the shame that it brought onto his family. Not having the disease, but to have to be extorted like that.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those things where it's right now there's a lot of hate going on towards other people. There's a lot of people talking shit about Ronda Rousey, all kinds of other shit. Unless you're in that person's shoes and all the details and stuff like that, come on now. It's give a little bit, not except for Bill Cosby, because he is a bastard. But
Family Guy joke, man.
Yeah, love it. But I think you guys have a little bit more of a glimpse now. You should understand a little,
This is, and even he said on the interview, if it was going to happen to anybody, it was going to happen to me, because of the life that I led and the choices that I made. And he was like, I have to live with that, and that's my, cross to bear or whatever. But he was like, I'm remaining positive. Bad joke there. But, I'm remaining positive, and he was like, I want to be the first person that comes out of the other side of this, And I'm like, that's optimism, and that's great, At least he has come to a point in his life where he can be at peace with it, and not be, having the same drug issues and all that stuff before. So I wish him all the luck in the world, and I hope that, there's been a lot of advances in the treatment of this, but, I think people can live a long time now.
Yeah. There's a lot better stuff. The drug.
It's not as much of a death sentence as
the drug that the asshole fucking said. Speaking of which, news on him. Apparently, his company just lost $14 million.
Yeah, karma's a bitch, isn't it, asshole?
Which is awesome.
But yeah, it's not as much of a death sentence as it was, 20 years ago. So, just goddamn people, don't be an asshole. I don't know. It struck me in a weird way, but. There's a lot of other news this week. I will say that I have mainlined 3.5 seasons of Arrow in the past week and a half, and I come out the other side of this mainlining with a heavy appreciation of the show. And we talked about it on last week's show, and at that time I had only watched maybe a season.
Yeah, now he's up to date. He's current on the episodes.
Yeah, I've seen every episode except for the first episode of season 4, because I couldn't find it anywhere anymore because it had dropped off of Hulu. But I just ended up reading the description. I didn't miss all that much. But I loved it. I loved every bit of it, except for those first 2 episodes that I didn't like originally, and I still didn't like them this time. But the first 2 episodes of the first season I didn't like. Yeah, but
they wrote an article about Supergirl with that too, about
the first episode sucks.
First episodes, and even first seasons for shows are very rough because you're trying to find your footing and
you gotta find who you are.
Yeah, and it's actually starting to work out. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had that problem.
Yes.
Arrow probably had the problem. Even Flash. Flash was pretty certain because I think they worked a lot off of what happened with Arrow.
Yes.
But even then, they were still very much okay, here it is. Here's where we're at. And Supergirl's doing that, but it's also picking up pretty quick.
Yes.
Because it's Berlanti, and he's really good about learning from previous stuff and being able to pick the pace up quicker and stuff, but
unless it's about Riverdale.
I can't want to
I can't defend
about
that.
this. I can't. But you know what? Like Ben Affleck says, sometimes you got to do and then you do reindeer.
Yeah, you do the bunny picture, and then the safe picture, and then you do the classy picture.
Then you do the period piece, and then you do reindeer.
And then you do balance.
Yeah. I wasn't with a hooker today. Yeah.
But I've absolutely loved it, all of it. And there's a new episode waiting for me on the DVR now.
Did you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, I did not.
So we can watch that too.
I didn't watch Flash yet either. Just long day today. Because the downside to Dirk telling me he was going to come over 3 hours in advance is I spent that entire time furiously cleaning.
Oh shit, my OCD kind of kicked in.
Oh god, people from the outside world will be in my house.
Clean it, quick.
Let's fumigate the butt smell from the basement. Give me 9 cans of Febreze.
I think he shot himself.
The other thing that we were talking about earlier that I think you wanted to touch on was the Bastard Executioner story.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, I don't know how familiar you guys are with that. It's on, what, FX?
FX.
Yeah. The Bastard Executioner came out. And
it was done by Kurt Sutter, the guy who did Sons of Anarchy and The Shield.
Sons of No Fucks Given.
Yeah,
and big, shiny fucking No Fucks Given. But, I mean, people like his stuff, and that's cool. And this looked interesting. I can't say that I ever started to get to watch it. I had a friend at school that says he's been watching it, and it's really cool. But from what I keep hearing, the negative issue on this is so far it's only like a 6-episode season. But that's because each episode's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's... Whew.
And that's kind of rough. And I also heard there was like... it's pretty, like, graphic, I think, is the word I want to, like, use.
Very sexually graphic in a...
male-on-male?
In a male-on-male way, which is I have no problem with any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it may not be the thing that can work on
cable,
network television, on cable.
Because it's not like on HBO.
I don't think the world is necessarily ready for that.
Yeah, it's not like HBO or Starz or something like that where you kind of, Skinamax. But apparently, my friend said he liked it, and I thought other people did, but I guess that's not the case because apparently the ratings are shit, and it just got canceled.
Not just not that the network necessarily canceled.
The writer, basically was like...
The creator of the show was like, okay, I see where the trend is going, and the support is obviously not there.
The quote, I believe, was, I'm not going to write... for a show that nobody fucking wants to watch, type thing. Basic, and you know what? When you're reading between the lines, you really have to. It is understanding why keep patching up a sinking ship when it's still sinking, and you're not going to stop that. He tried something, he was going, it's not working out. He's just going to cut the losses.
Yeah, I mean, better to do that and to let your cast know, okay, this is what's happening, and to be able to write something that is a finish.
Yeah.
As opposed to just getting shit canned without warning.
Yeah, when the network's just like, we're
like
done.
What happened with ABC just now with Wicked City, which one of their new shows got canceled in after 3 episodes.
Damn, the Wicked City one.
Yeah, which is rough, And so I think they're going to burn off the rest of the episodes probably on the weekends. But it's the ratings.
Also, they're just yanking it.
The ratings were so bad that they were like half of what Flash was in that time spot. And you think about the difference between ABC ratings and CW ratings. Yeah.
I'm surprised that they let it get to 3 then.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to look at the content too. It was about a serial killer couple in the 80s, and it was very it looked like they wanted to try and do like a CW-ish type thing, but it's they're not good at doing that stuff, so I think it
reminded me of watching a Michael Mann movie or something like Miami Vice, the more recent Miami Vice. It's very overly slick and overproduced, and it did nothing.
It's trying to be too throwback, and you're like, they're gonna stop. No. But
it's pretty rough.
So if you guys were a fan of Bastard Executioner,
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But you know what? I give the guy respect for being able to just say fuck it and call it that way
and stuff.
Because a lot of people wouldn't do that.
But if you guys are a fan of Sons of Anarchy, apparently he's
going back to the well.
He's going back to the well and probably going to be doing a spin-off.
Oh, it's confirmed already.
It's confirmed he's doing a spin-off thing.
I swear it said a Mayan biker gang.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
it's the other biker gang that was in the show.
Yeah, I have nothing. I
they
have
were
no
like
clue
the
about
Mayan
that show
Mexican
whatsoever.
biker gang type stuff.
Yeah, so apparently there's gonna be a show based on that.
So if you guys like that, cool. It was really interesting. Yeah, it's just interesting to see that because you look at Supernatural.
Yeah.
Where the writer for that one was basically 5 seasons and I'm done. That's where the story was supposed to go. And then...
But in that case, the ratings were strong and the network was very behind the show. And they were like, okay, well, that's cool if you don't want to keep doing it, but we do.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you can do it without me. And they were like, well, we'll gladly do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That shows the difference is you can go that way when it's working out, and then when it's not working out, most writers will try and run something into the ground, unfortunately. And so as a writer, to be able to stand up and be like, you know what, my shit failed.
Read some of my scripts.
It's kind of it's a responsible step. So that happened. I'm trying to think what else. What's happened?
Well, I don't know if there's any other news necessarily, but since this is the 100th show, let's do a little bit of reflecting. After 100 shows, and
are we gonna do wasabi snooters?
No.
And marathons and wasabi snooters.
I'm gonna say
gonna gyrate like Biggie.
2 years of doing this has been an absolute fucking blast.
I still imagine that like nobody listens to our show. And
I think we still treat it that way too. Yeah. Like I think that we.
That's because that was from the very beginning. The mindset I always had was. We are literally. I don't care if anybody listens. I love that you guys listen.
Yeah, we do. We love.
I love all that you guys listen and stuff like that.
We love you in a weird
for
way.
My sanity to do this show as in the way that I do it, I can't listen to it, and I can't imagine that anybody else is listening to it because I basically
too self-conscious.
Not even. I really. It's just like one of those things where it's like to be completely unabashed as as what I want to do. I just have to imagine that I'm just screaming this out into the fucking ether.
I will sit here and proudly say that we've never pulled punches, not one time, and we've never shied away from anything that we wanted to talk about. Yeah. Really, and we've never apologized for anything.
And to your guys' credit,
you've never asked us to.
You've never asked us to, and I've never really seen anything that was like. And even if there might have been, it was probably so polite, I didn't even realize it.
I can safely say we've never really gotten any negative feedback on the show. Not in 2 years we haven't. And to be able to carry over a listenership into a new show and have the new show be even more in some ways successful than the current show, that really means a lot to me for sure. And and that bodes well for how
that just means you all fuckers don't want to listen to me. That's what that means. It's like we like the original
you joke
show.
about that, but it's like that was a legitimate fear. I'm like, if I don't have Dave, they won't listen to me.
Yeah, and then they're like, no, that Dave guy's gone finally. Yes, we can enjoy it more. Well, too fucking bad. I'm staying on the show. You can kiss my ass.
No, this show has been an opportunity for two guys, that are the closest of friends to get to live a dream, to go be part of the comics community, and to.
I live 5 feet away now from where we record this. I sleep in the basement of Doom.
Yeah, I do too, actually, but not in the same place Dave does. There's more than one bed in the basement of Doom.
Yeah.
But no, I mean to get a chance to go to all these conventions and to set up tables and to actually have people come and tell you that they listen to the show, which every time blows my fucking mind. It doesn't matter how many times it happens.
I was just trying to imagine. I'm like, liars, sacrilege, blasphemer.
To get to interview guys whose work we respect, to guys like Dirk and Eric and Victor and all of these guys that we love, and to get to review comics like Old Wounds.
Wearing my Orphans.
As Dave sits here in his Orphans shirt, by Orphans by Eric Palicki. You can find it on Comixology, by the way.
I love the shirt. Shirt's awesome.
Yes, but to get to review a book like Old Wounds and then to get to write a foreword for it and have that be printed in the trade paperback means a lot to us. And for Dirk to have, linked our podcast in the back of his comic book, like that was one of the greatest geek moments of our existence, I think. But
don't let Todd lie to you. He was pretty hard.
Mahogany.
It was teak.
It was teak. It has been a hell of a ride so far, and there's no signs of stopping. Like I'll do the show as long as Dave wants to do it with me,
Hey, until my Mankini, downward spiraling Cthulhu dog face, yoga hour is solid, I'm still here at this, this venture.
This show would consist of you doing a pose, then them cutting to me, and me just being horrified by it. Just having that horrified look on my face. Cutting back, and then back to me, and I'm cutting myself.
So if I did this, I wish that Fredericks of Hollywood still had they used to have like these banana hammocks that was like one was a rooster and an elephant and stuff like that, where it was like a little puppet on my Johnson. And they would make noises when you get erections. Like if it was the rooster, it would crow, or the elephant would make. Yes, he spit water out.
Oh, you bastard!
Yes. Oh, I fucking got him to spit water out. That was fucking great. Yeah. But I wish they still had these because I would do it in that, and then like we'd try it. Like I would do like a counter for every time you'd hear a noise. It would be great in the corner of the video.
I mean, it has been suggested by several of our female fans that we should do a calendar, and I'm like, well, I would have no months on this calendar. There'd be like 11 months.
I feel like we would give you November. I feel like you should have November. November should be yours. Turkey Day should be yours.
It would be 11 months of you in like revealing outfits, and 1 month of me looking angrily at the camera from like the neck up.
No, you get 2. I want you to have 2. Okay, I want you to have Thanksgiving. I want you to have turkey because like I can imagine you like doing like a mambo type thing with turkey legs, and then I want you to have December because I want you to do this like naughty Santa thing where it's like you're opening it up, just showing ever so slightly nipple. Like, don't touch. No. You get those 2. I'll take the rest.
Well, I'm glad you want to see that. Everybody else in the world don't want to see that.
July, I'm gonna put on the the Washington wig, and I'm gonna do the Costanza. And I have a sparklers just tight in there. It's gonna be great. I want everybody to know this is brought on because of Sarah. I take great joy in fucking with
Sarah?
Roma, Sarah.
Oh yes, very mercenary herself.
Very mercenary herself.
Dave lives to torture Sarah.
I attribute this to you and also to Aaron.
Sarah Detrick, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and to Aaron. Mm-hmm. It's both of them.
She has threatened many times to remove us from her feed.
I try to
raunchy Dave hotel room
I
pictures.
keep wanting to like push the envelope to see like how true that is. Like, all right, let's keep going. I really want to see. Like, I want to see that like unfollow. Like I'm waiting for it like to get a message from Aaron to be like, she did it, she unfollowed. You guys happy? Todd's gonna cry. Dave's gonna be like, yes, achievement unlocked.
Yeah, achievement unlocked. Banana hammock.
What poses do you have to do to make a cosplayer shun you?
I definitely would not let this 100th episode end without saying a huge thank you to our number 3, our official number 3, Vicky, who isn't with us tonight here, but we did get to hang out with yesterday a little bit.
Yeah.
And
in my box.
Yes, Dave running around in his boxer shorts.
What am I not running around?
True. We love Vicky. She's just as much a part of this show as we are, even though she doesn't get to be on air as much as we do. But she has been a tireless supporter.
But she did post. She is posting now in her Basement Babe page. So go check it out, bitches.
She's been a tireless supporter of the show. She was, I would tease her and say she was our very first fan.
And she was hawking cards in the beginning, like a motherfucker.
She is our unofficial PR person.
I'm surprised like people didn't come up and be like, "Hey, look, I got like a no solicitation rule from like you keep your Basement Babe away from my table."
Your Basement Babe, one of that shit.
Yeah,
I'd say we've already said a big thanks to Dirk and say a huge thanks to him. Obviously, Victor, Casey was our unofficial first guest.
Yeah.
Casey, Eric.
Waffle kiss.
Mike Watson, Matt Metzger. You bastard.
Somebody get that boy some drawing lessons.
He's going to kick you in the nuts so hard. Somebody get that boy a sign for his table. Bow! To Aaron and Sarah and Kenny from Roma.
Yes. The Roma people.
Love you guys. Dave Patterson from Dave the Nerd. J.R. Blanton has been a huge supporter of the show. Michelle. I can't say enough about Michelle. A great friend and a big supporter and a great person, all-around person. Crystal, a big supporter in the beginning with us too. Man, the list goes on and on.
Russell
Yes, Russell Lissow, John Bivens, you guys have been a big support. Paul Gorey and Kevin Cuff have been a huge support for my new show, as well as being a support for Basement Fodder. Freddie Colin, who is a customer of mine who became a fan of the show, too, and I really appreciate that. And an insanely talented artist in his own right. Please check his artwork out. I'll actually post links to his work. trying to remember.
Ron Jeremy.
PopCultureHorde.com.
Peter Steele.
Dick Nasty.
Buck Nasty.
Buck the fuck Magruder.
Carmilla Bing. These people have really shaved, Debbie and Dallas.
The beautiful people from Sexapalooza.
Yes.
Or as I like to call it, Irudo Call.
The funny ass cross-dresser.
Announcer
guy. He was fucking hilarious.
Our good buddy Tyson, who's been on the show quite a few times.
Not Dave.
This show would not exist without Dave and not Dave.
Yeah.
I would never have.
I hounded his ass
taken the step. I was so afraid. I will admit I was very afraid. And Michelle cracks me up. We were having a conversation the other day, and I was talking about something, and she said something about the level of professionalism in our shows, and I was just like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you have me confused for another show?
She was like, "You need to shut the hell up because this is what you do."
It's a smodcast and saying you think it's me. What's going on?
I can safely say that this is of all the things I do, and including making customs, which I love more than anything. But doing this is what I feel like I'm supposed to do. So we don't make a nickel for this show, but we don't give a shit. And I never give a fuck.
No.
So, in closing, I'm going to be in a couple days at the Taylortown Comic Con in Taylor, Michigan.
And I'm going to be in the woods hitting zombies with foam weapons. That's going to be great.
225, I think, E-Course Road in Taylor, Michigan from 11 a.m. to 5 on Saturday.
And Friday at 9 till about 12 in the afternoon on Sunday in Greenfield, Indiana. If you want to watch me scream and wail on other nerds, you're more than welcome to.
You can come see me. You can come see Jared Blanton, who, like we were talking about earlier, his Kickstarter is doing extremely well. You can come see Stephanie Maynard from Master Plot Comics. Many, many other people. The great John Colell, who runs the shows, who's a fantastic, fantastic man. I'm gonna have a great time. JR and I may attend an indie wrestling show later that night, or I may say fuck it and go up and visit Dirk at his signing afterwards. But either way, I'm sure I'm gonna have a good time. And I'm gonna be staying in that same awesome motel that I've stayed in the last two times, and I fucking love it. It's so comfortable, and they have a chair in the shower, and I'm fat, lazy, and tired, and I want to sit down and have the water hit my balls. Okay, that's what I want. It's a beautiful.
You can't take that away from anybody. I mean. Everybody, no matter who they are, wants a chair in the shower.
Keep it. I mean, you know what? Thank you, all of you, for listening. And for supporting and for posting on our pages and for laughing at our jokes and for liking our pictures and putting up with Dave in his banana hammock and my incessant selfies.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say,
I'm going to go ahead and say, get the fuck off my front porch, you young little whippersnapper bastards.
You and your Pac-Man video games and your Dan Fogelberg.
You Dan Fogelberg.
But it's been an amazing 100th episode, and it's been an amazing 100 episodes, and I can't see a time where it will stop. So if you stuck with us through 100, stick with us through for 100 more. But
that's cry.
I will cry like a 5-year-old girl with a skin knee. I will do it. Like Raptor Baby and Myers at 10 o'clock at night. But
smash that baby's head in with a cinder block.
That's going to do it. The views of Dave are not necessarily mine. But no, that baby.
Unless it's a screaming baby.
That baby. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this special 100th episode of Basement Fodder. Tonight from the Basement of Doom, I'm Todd.
I'm Dave.
And until next time, the basement door is closed.
Get off my lawn, punk.
You've been listening to a Basement of Doom production. To find out more about Basement of Doom Productions and all of its family of shows, please check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/basementfodder and on Twitter @basementfodder.